Watchtower of January 15th, 2008. Pay attention to your art of teaching. This article is meant to improve Jehovah's Witnesses' ability to teach potential members. This method is called a Bible study and is a catchphrase. Informally, witnesses will refer to interested people as my study or my Bible study. A Bible study is only valid if witness publications and methods are used. The Bible is not to be used alone.
If you regularly and systematically have Bible discussions, though brief, using the Bible along with one of the recommended publications, you are conducting a Bible study.
If a witness is studying with you, they are required to complete a detailed form every month to report your activity. They will most likely want to use this publication, What Does the Bible Really Teach?, and meet with you at least once a week. The goal of a Bible study is to convert and baptize new members. While in the process, the student is allowed to question Watchtower doctrine.
What if a student has difficulty accepting a certain teaching or holds strongly to a false belief? If the student is still not convinced, leave the subject for another time and continue on with his regular study.
But after baptism, questioning is no longer permitted.
If we get to thinking that we know better than the organization, we should ask ourselves, where did we learn Bible truth in the first place? Would we know the way of the truth if it had not been for the guidance from the organization? Really, can we get along without the direction of God's organization? No, we cannot.
For this Watchtower study, let's go right to paragraph 9 under the subheading, Keep It Simple.
Most truths contained in God's Word are in themselves relatively simple. It may be, though, that people with whom we study the Bible have been confused by the doctrines of false religion. Our role as teachers is to make the Bible easy to understand.
Jehovah's Witnesses, this is your challenge. Get prepared to hit the pause button. Without referring to any book, using the Bible only, explain how you believe 1914 can be calculated using biblical prophecy. You should be able to do this because 1914 is critical to the fulfillment of every modern prophecy you believe and sets the witnesses apart as having the truth. Can you explain this using the Bible alone? Press pause and prove it to yourself. For everyone else, here's the official explanation made easy to understand.
During the appointed times of the nations, worldly governments would be allowed to interrupt rulership approved by God. That period began with the destruction of Jerusalem in 607 BCE, and Daniel indicated that it would go on for 7 times. How long is that? The Bible shows that 3.5 times equals 1,260 days. Twice that period, or 7 times, would be 2,520 days. But nothing noteworthy happened at the end of that short period of time. By applying a day for a year to Daniel's prophecy and counting 2,520 years from 607 BC, however, we arrive at the year 1914 CE.
So how did you do? Relatively simple? Easy to understand? But even if you accept that explanation, there is a major problem. 607 BCE. Jehovah's Witnesses are the only group that believes that this date is the date Jerusalem was destroyed. Every other official source says this event happened between 586 and 587 BCE, including any encyclopedia, the British Museum, the State of Israel. There's simply no archaeological evidence for 607. The Watchtower's defense?
Similarly, we are willing to be guided primarily by God's Word rather than by a chronology that is based principally on secular events or that disagrees with the Scriptures. It is, in reality, a weak faith that must rely on moldering bricks, broken vases, and crumbling walls to bolster up and serve as a crutch.
The reality is that the Watchtower needs 607 for 1914 to work. Otherwise, all the promise of spiritual paradise, Armageddon, and the coincidence of World War I make no sense. This is the simple truth that the Watchtower does not want you to know.
People with whom we study the Bible have been confused by the doctrines of false religion.
Watchtower Comments is produced by an active member of Jehovah's Witnesses. This video is not authorized or endorsed by the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society.